Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's iteration of the SmackDown Summary. We had an awesome episode of Friday Night SmackDown last night. One of the best episodes of Friday Night SmackDown I've seen this year so far. We're going to be going over everything that happened last night, along with my own personal opinions, hot takes, and fantasy bookings along the way as well. If you're a fellow wrestling fan like myself, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more weekly wrestling content just like this. Now let's get right into it. John Cena once again kicked off the show similar to how he did on Monday Night Raw, calling out announcer Mark Nash to have him kind of redo his introduction. He wasn't happy with the way he did it. He didn't leave in that part about the unseen 17, undisputed, last real champion of the WWE. Overall, I'm a big fan of this new introduction of John Cena. I think it really gives us a good in-depth look at how this heel John Cena is really going to look throughout the rest of his title reign. Before John could even get a single word in, Randy Orton's music hit and he made his way slowly down to the ring. Randy Orton had somewhat of a touching promo towards John Cena. He called out the fact that he has the most wishes granted of any Make-A-Wish of all time. And he asked John if any of those wishes really mean anything to him, kind of going into that like a psychological warfare kind of thing, saying like, these things had to have meant something to you at one point or another. Bring that John Cena back. He even went as far as to say that John Cena isn't actually a father himself, so maybe he just doesn't understand it, and he probably never will. John Cena clapped right back by saying that he is a father, not to his own children, but to everybody out in the WWE universe. In a way, he was kind of right, I feel like. He was saying that he was preaching hustle, loyalty, respect for all of those years, inspiring so many kids across the world to do their best in anything that they tried to accomplish. Like I said, in a way, I feel like a lot of people could really relate to this. This isn't the John Cena that we know and love, and that John Cena that we do know from past years. He was that guy. I also thought it was funny that John Cena actually called out a 6-year-old who was flipping him off, saying that he was a better father to that child, and if he was that kid's father, he wouldn't be doing something like that. Randy then switched over to the fact that John Cena wants to ruin professional wrestling, and he said that there was no way in hell that he was letting him do so. Wrestling has been a part of Randy's life for pretty much ever. It provided for him as a child, it's providing for his family now, and it will probably provide for his children's families in the future. However, John Cena doesn't care. He still is going to ruin professional wrestling. He's going to take the one real undisputed WWE championship away from this company forever. The one that he's won 17 times, and he called out the fact that it's the one that Randy Orton has won 14 times himself. He was saying that after he takes the title away, there will be another episode of Raw, there will be another episode of SmackDown. However, Randy Orton's 14 world titles will mean nothing once the real one is out of the picture. His counter will restart at 1, if he's lucky enough to even get another title match, that is. Of course, this infuriated Randy, who challenged him to a match that night on SmackDown, but we didn't exactly get one. John Cena said that he wants Randy Orton at his best, and that he'll meet him in St. Louis, Missouri, Randy Orton's hometown. He wants Randy Orton at his absolute best, so that way when John Cena beats him, Randy won't have any excuses. This segment then ended with an attack from John Cena at RKO and Randy Orton standing tall with the WWE title. Overall, I've always been a Randy Orton fan. I am super excited for this feud. One last go between John Cena and Randy Orton, where they even called this out in the promos. It's like a Bizarro World version of this, where Randy Orton is the good guy, John Cena is the bad guy. Something that we wouldn't have expected in like a million years. However, once again, super excited for this one. Next up, we had the WWE main roster debut of NXT former tag team champions, Firaxium. They took on the Legado del Fantasma in a tag team match that was absolutely spectacular. It was fast-paced, high-flying, and had tons of offense from Firaxium, especially during the start of the match. Legado del Fantasma didn't really get much offense in until it was actually the commercial break. The match ended with a Phoenix Splash from Nathan Frazier and would give Firaxium the W in their debut. Overall, I'm super excited to have these guys on the main roster. I think they are officially here to stay now, although I do think that we could have used them over on Monday Night Raw. They could have been used to really elevate that overall weak tag team division, and I just think that they would have been a better fit over there. Next up, WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton came out to the ring, announcing to the world that she did it. She went toe-to-toe with one of the best in the business and is now cementing herself as the one and only Tiffany Stratton. However, she was interrupted by Jade Cargill, who said now that she's done with Naomi, she's here to do what she came to do, and that's win championships. This led to a match between the two, which I thought was a little bit sloppy at times. I think Jade Cargill could really improve on her pins and kickouts. They just seemed a little bit weak at times, like she was either letting Tiffany Stratton up or she wasn't getting the shoulder all the way up. Overall, though, we did have some awesome spots in this match. That cartwheel into a powerbomb from Jade Cargill, that was awesome. This match, however, would not get a proper finish because Naomi would make her way back out and attack Jade Cargill. And then we even got the return of Nia Jax. We got some very interesting crowd reactions during these returns as well. It seemed as though more people were cheering on Nia Jax and Naomi than they were the actual baby faces. This is an interesting dynamic, as I said, and it seems to be pretty popular across the WWE, even the men's division. We see guys like Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, John Cena, and other heels getting similar pops to these two. Speaking of heels, our next segment was between Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu coming out to the ring, celebrating Jacob's win at WrestleMania. First of all, I want to call out that Jacob Fatu was wearing his Raiders jersey backwards for some reason. I'm hoping that was intended. I thought it was a little silly at first. I'm hoping it wasn't just a simple mistake. Later in the night, he did make a reappearance, which we will get to later, and he still had the jersey on backwards, so either it was a mistake and he just decided to stick with it, or this was intentional. I don't get it, but you know what? You do you, I guess. You're the United States champion. Solo Sikoa had the mic first. He was saying that Jacob Fatu's win should be celebrated because of Solo. Solo was the one who brought him into the WWE, and all of Jacob's success is because of Solo himself. Throughout this whole promo, Jacob Fatu was giving Solo some pretty dirty looks and eventually stole the mic from his hand and was saying not to get it twisted, he would have done this with or without Solo. That's when LA Knight made his way down to the ring saying that he deserves a rematch and he wants a rematch tonight. However, they were then interrupted by Drew McIntyre, who said that now that he's done with WrestleMania, he made his way through Damian Priest, he wants to fight the biggest dog in the yard. LA Knight was a little bit pissed off at this and eventually almost led to a scrap between the two, but Nick Aldis intervened before that could happen and confirmed a match for later in the night between Drew McIntyre and LA Knight. Next up was a women's United States title match between Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega. Chelsea Green got a special entrance. I thought the I Pledge Allegiance to Chelsea Green was hilarious and really cool. I thought it fit her character very well. However, I don't know what they're going to do with this now because Chelsea Green lost her title. Zelina Vega capitalized as the Secret Service was getting kicked out of ringside and picked up the win to become the new United States champion. Now, good for Zelina Vega and all, but I'm not really a fan of this at all. I don't think they had much of a feud going on, and I would have really liked to see Chelsea Green stay the champion. The fans love her. She has an awesome gimmick going on. I just don't understand why they would take the title off of her right now. I also worry what they're going to do with the Secret Service next because it doesn't exactly work if you're not the United States champion. Up next, The Miz came out to the ring to complain that he did not get a WrestleMania match. He was sick and tired of all these randos getting picked before him for Mania matches. He referenced Rey Fenix, he referenced Joe Hendry, and said that he's been a 20-year veteran. He should have been on this card in one of those spots. However, that's when the lights turned off and we got the return of Aleister Black. He came out, didn't say a word, delivered a savage head kick to The Miz, hit his signature crisscross applesauce thing in the center of the ring to a host of welcome back chants. Overall, super excited to have him back. I can't wait to see what they do with him next. Next up was the match between LA Knight and Drew McIntyre. This kicked off the final commercial-free hour of the show, and this was to determine the #1 contender for the United States Championship. Overall, I thought that this was a pretty solid, hard-hitting match. We did end up getting some interference between Solo Sikoa and LA Knight during it. Of course, the ref didn't see that, but what he did see was Damian Priest attacking Drew McIntyre. This got LA Knight disqualified and solidified Drew McIntyre as the #1 contender. After the match, LA Knight confronted Damian Priest about this, and they were both attacked from behind while they were distracted by Jacob Fatu. And finally, was the highlight of the night, one of the greatest free television matches that I have ever seen in my entire life, that being the Triangle TLC match between DIY, the Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits. This match was brutal on so many levels, and it was so unbelievably entertaining. We had the spots with Dawkins laying upside down in the corner, getting hit with chairs. We had a flatline from Johnny Gargano off the top of a ladder to Montez Ford. Johnny Gargano got dropped on the point of 2 chairs that were up. Tables were broken. There were so many near finishes in this one. Montez Ford even used a fan's prosthetic leg as a weapon. In the end, the Street Profits would end up retaining their WWE Tag Team titles. Again, this was one of the greatest freely televised matches that I've ever seen in my entire life. This is a #1 match of the year contender for sure. My only question is, why wasn't this on WrestleMania? I have no idea. If you have any idea, which I'm sure you also don't as well, be sure to leave that down in the comments section below. Again, leave a like and subscribe for more weekly wrestling content just like this. I'll see you in the next one.